Right, coming to you live for the week 3 recap for the unnamed Dynasty Fantasy League. Squib, I think we still got to figure out a name for this league. But right out of the way, I'll just get it out of the way because you can't really see his face anyway. Mikey is not here right now. It is just me. So, at least for the time being, I will be recapping this alone potentially later. Mikey might be joining us. You'll also notice that Dave, who joined us last week, is not here. He didn't give me a reason why, but I have my theories and we'll get to that later. But why don't we jump right in to the first matchup? Since it's just me this week, it will probably go pretty quickly unless someone ends up joining me here. That someone would be Mikey. But let's get into the biggest blowout. This week it was Team Tony Rigatoni, who I think still has the best team name in the league, up against Scott Hansen's Coke Habit. I mean, there's not much to say here, just not a good week for JB overall. And on the other end, a fantastic week for Tony. And this coming from a team that still is only repping one quarterback on his whole team. He's got just Geno Smith. He does have Zach Wilson, presumably coming back this week, but Drew Lock's a backup. Sam Darnold's a backup. For now, Carolina's still saying they're going to be riding with Darnold. But I don't know. Baker Mayfield doesn't look good. And then Desmond Ridder, probably someone he's hoping to rely on a little bit in the future, although not necessarily a QB Atlanta wants to be relying on. Another QB that's currently not starting for him. So Tony putting up 160 points with only one QB is quite impressive. So where did he get those points? I mean, the first thing to note, obviously, Derrick Henry had a big game. It's been coming. People have been saying Derrick Henry's completely washed. He got his highest snap percentage total and his highest point total of the season as he finds the end zone and, oddly enough, gets some receiving work. Even looking at his totals from last year, only one game, and he was off to a torrid start last year. Did he get 6 targets? 6 receptions, almost mirroring that here with 6 targets, 5 receptions. So I don't know if that is going to be a trend moving forward for Derrick Henry. That could revitalize his value for Tony, which would be huge as he's a running back centric team. He's got Najee Harris. He's also got Nick Chubb and Leonard Fournette. So that's where he's going to be trying to get those points week in and week out. But this week, Tony also got points from his boy. He is a Cowboys fan, CeeDee Lamb. May have made a pretty embarrassing drop in the game, but no points lost in fantasy, puts up 22.7 points. And then Hollywood Brown, who Kyler Murray starting to show some poor QB tendencies, really hyper focusing in on one receiver here. 17 targets for Hollywood Brown gets Tony 28 points. On the other end, JB's team, who now moves to 1-2. Both these teams now 1-2, but JB, probably the team after me, probably having the most disappointing season so far. I'm going to continue to roast him until he's not here. Moyer's team, I think, likely the worst team in the league, although my team has proven to be worse. I don't think we can be too surprised with the numbers Moyer's team's been putting out. But JB, third least points in the league, moves to 1-2, only 98 points this week. Not quite the season low. That honor still goes to me. So nice try, JB, but couldn't quite take it from me. He's got Russell Wilson, who's not looking strong. Joe Mixon surely will have a rebound. Rashad Penny, Seahawks backfield. Really, Seahawks in general, not necessarily a team you want in fantasy. Justin Jefferson, though, surely. That's probably going to be – that might be his worst game of the – I don't know. Has he ever had a worse game? Yeah, he has. Okay. Oh, no, 4.4. Justin Jefferson's worst game? Nope, there we go. Week 8 last year in his breakout season, he had a worse game. So actually not unprecedented. And I guess Justin Jefferson's good for a 4-point performance at least once a year. So he lost points there. Amon-Ra St. Brown, emerging as a stud in the league, finally breaks his streak of 8 receptions or more. He had 9, he had 8, he had 10. Oh, wait, sorry. 8, 8, 9, 8, 8, 10. Finally broken as he only gets 6, but he did miss time. So likely he can rely on more points from him moving forward. George Kittle coming back from injury. likely going to be eased in. So I'd say overall there's some signs of life for JB's team, but obviously 98 points, not something you want to see, especially when it doesn't look like he had the option for many more points on his bench. He did have Parker, who looked great this week. Tony Pollard's going to be someone who saw it every week. And then, of course, always in consideration will be his quarterbacks, especially now with Russell Wilson sucking it up. But JB, I have more faith in your team than my team. That's for sure. All right, let's move on to our next closest matchup. Let's actually skip this one in case someone from this matchup ends up joining us. I wrote down the matchups this week so that I wouldn't skip one. It looks like our next closest matchup was Brady versus Keim, two very high scoring performers. Keim, most points in a loss. Unlucky for him, but I don't think Brady's ever going to score as low as 135. So wow, he got 135 points in a loss. Feels quite unlucky. When you're playing Brady, heading in, you're going to need more points than that. Is Brady, who is 3-0, the only team on the season to have over 500 points. This is the best team in the league right now, and he's carried right here on top by Lamar Jackson. Javonte Williams kind of sliding into what I expected him to. What did I just do to the background here? Oh, I'm not sure. But yeah, Saquon, RB1 on the season, I believe now, ahead of James Robinson, who I believe is on Keim's team. There he is, 20 points, 6 points for James Robinson, who is the running back 3. So I don't know who I'm forgetting there. Maybe those in the comment can remind me. Saquon is RB1. But Saquon, another stud on his team. So he's got probably the best QB so far, the best running back so far, and he's got the best receiver so far in Stephon Diggs. Throw on top of that, dude didn't even play Keenan Allen, but it doesn't matter because Stephon Diggs, best receiver in the league, down week. Devonta Smith, breakout performance, 30 points. I mean, Brady's really built himself a wagon here, and to be frank, I don't know how much effort Brady's really putting into his fantasy leagues. I think he just drafts by ADP and calls it good, and we should all be ashamed that we've let Brady build such a dominant team. Of course, now I want to highlight he's got Jamal Williams. Why is that important? Because we're going to be seeing a lot more 24-point performances. Maybe not that much from Jamal Williams. You can never really rely on that much at the running back position. But with Swift going down, Williams surely will have more value moving forward. Singletary, big game. Harris, big game. This is this dude's bench. Isaiah McKenzie, dude, if he set his optimal lineup, would have scored over 200 points this week. I mean, no one's beating Brady. I'm calling it now. If it's going to take quite the effort from your team to beat this guy, I think that Brady is the favorite to take it all so far. But let's go to the other side here. Andrew Keim, Mr. Take Your Pick, continues to stick with the Steelers-centered team name, despite no one initially understanding it. And both the players being on his bench, his excuse being, of course, that he's a fan of those teams. I mean, you can't expect your team to have much success if you name your team after bench players. It doesn't work like that. You got to name your team after Kyler. You got to name your team after Eckler. You want to know why Kyler Murray and Austin Eckler are struggling? It's probably because you didn't name your team after them, if I'm being perfectly honest. I think that's how much power we have. Cooper Kupp's performance kind of down in the drain. Expect about 30 points a game at this point from Cooper Kupp, 16 points. Maybe you should consider naming your team after Cooper Kupp. Keim. David Montgomery, questionable, could miss some time. Does Keim have Khalil Herbert? I do not believe he does. But if you are the Khalil Herbert owner, you might be able to get quite the valuable piece from Keim. He's trying to keep his team afloat here. Blues is a key running back at a position that Keim isn't necessarily deep at, but he does have Eckler. He does have James Robinson, so he can go to receivers in his flex position. But those are really his only startable guys at the position. Not that I have any startable running backs at this point, but Deontay Johnson continues to be the Steelers' number one guy. The problem is the Steelers are rolling out Mitch Trubisky, notably not Kenny Pickett, who Keim named his team after. I could see also that, playing into some performance issues for Keim's team. Naming your team after the backup quarterback, of your number one receiver. It's a team that, I mean, Cam, I don't know what you're doing. I'm begging you to change your team name at this point. Ayuk has a solid rapport with Jimmy G. We know this. He had a huge first, maybe even drive to this game. I feel like he got almost all of his points on that first drive. That game, atrocious. I mean, I don't need to talk about it anymore. Everyone's already talking about it. Christian Kirk, James Robinson's two Jaguars duo emerging as very valuable fantasy assets at this point, as the Jaguars look like quite the team right now, hammering our co-commissioner's favorite team, the Los Angeles Chargers, 38-10. And then he's got Matt Ryan, who is he's Matt Ryan, which isn't anything to write home about at this point. Okay, let's move to our next game. The Elder Squib, born in 1945, of course, taking on Ryan Janiga, who is building his team for the future. He's got all these players that don't have value right now. Let's just remind ourselves some of them. Michael Gallup, he will have value presumably next week, but he also has Julio Jones. It's not who I'm looking for. It doesn't look like they're listing his IR duo here, but I'm forgetting who they are off the top of my head. But I promise you, I think one of them is John Michi, and then the other one is Calvin Ridley. Janiga's got both those teams. He's definitely a team building for the future. Tua looks like quite the pick for him so far on that new Miami offense. Is quite the fun offense to watch. I mean, we all saw what Tua did last week. Couldn't repeat his performance this week, but he was playing a good Bills team, and he also hyperextended his back. We all know he got a concussion, but whatever excuse they need to get him back in the game. Justin Fields, on the other hand, I mean, I've never seen a guy go from valuable dynasty asset at QB to just like total bust so fast. And he's basically ruining his entire offense with him, except the run game. But Cole Kmet, who I have, complete waste of draft capital. Darnell Mooney, a drop at this point in redraft leagues, complete waste of draft capital. Justin Fields torturing many a team in this league. Why did I start with Ryan here? I've been starting with the higher scoring teams, but we'll just continue on here. Breece Hall is starting to come into his own a little bit. 11 targets for Breece Hall now. That was without Zach Wilson starting, was with Joe Flacco. We don't know if Joe Flacco is going to have massively different tendencies than Zach Wilson, but one can hope this is a scheme thing. 11 targets for Breece Hall is going to quickly push him into a valuable asset. He's already arguably the top rookie in the class, now getting 11 targets at the running back position. That's pretty scary. Najee Harris-esque of last year, but are they on a better offense for fantasy? Kind of seems like it at this point. They're just throwing so many times. I don't really know. Is anyone else as bored as me that's just me hosting? This is why we need you guys to join the league, because then we don't get Dave trying to make me seem like a racist, which, by the way, I think I'd like to see him try this week. I'm team name, podcast name. I don't put respect on his name. What does that even mean? I don't think Dave's going to be able to spin that as racist, but we need you guys on here to mix things up, to throw me off my feet. But yeah, Janiga is a team building for the future. So I don't know if we necessarily need to focus on him too much. On the flip side, a team definitely trying to win now puts up a measly 112 points. And yes, that I'm going to call that measly. Honestly, after myself, Moyer, JB, who we went through JB's team, he's got some hope, I think, there on his team. If I'm the Elder Squib, I'm starting to panic a little bit about my team. This is a team that should be winning now. This is a team with Pat Mahomes, a team that hit on Cordero Patterson, but only has 20 more points on the season than me. He's 2-1 because he's had barely any points against him. I'm not so sure I'm not sure that 2-1 record is very reflective here of the Elder Squibs team. He's got Alvin Kamara, who's vastly underperforming. Devontae Adams, I would say probably underperforming, but I mean, he's in the mix there with the top wide receivers. But obviously, you want more than 14 points. Mike Williams, he's boomer bust. Robbie Anderson, great week one. Then Baker Mayfield has continued to happen. His value back to nothing. I mean, pretty much nothing. 2 points this week. Gerald Everett, a tight end he traded for, starts. And then after we roast Keim last week for starting 2 tight ends, comes out here and he has to start 2 tight ends here. At least he thought he did because he started 2. Gerald Everett, who he traded for, Mike Gesicki, and an exciting Miami team. Very much looking like a fantasy bust at the position. 42% snap share, 40%. He did play a lot in that Baltimore game. That was probably the time to move off Gesicki if you were the elder squib. Robert Woods, I mean, he's probably the Titans' #1 wide receiver, but another team that seems to be struggling with their offensive identity. And then Derek Carr, of course, can't do much with Josh McDaniels, one of the worst coaches and head coaches in NFL history, and one of my least favorite coordinators I've ever seen. Just does not understand game theory at all. Calls terrible play calls. As you can tell, he's wounded me greatly as a Patriots fan. I mean, the Raiders should be a lot better than they are. I think they are better than 0-3. But, I mean, 19 points from Derek Carr, you can't complain with Josh McDaniels calling plays. That was his best performance of the season. He could have played Mariota instead. Of course, he's going to run a lot and be down a lot. So he's going to get to kind of do his thing. Rex Burkhead. I'm trying to find another option here. Samaje Perine, you wouldn't have known before the game that Joe Mixon would go down for the 4th quarter. Richie James could be boosted up a little bit with the injury to Sterling Shepard. KJ Osborne. Okay, here's a guy. Let's see. Darnell Mooney, don't blame him for benching, but KJ Osborne. And I see another one here. Romeo Dubs. Yeah, these are both guys that I personally would have started this week over a second tight end, especially a second tight end like Mike Gesicki. So maybe it's not all dire because Squibby, he gets the win here. The elder Squib, gets the win here. And he also learns the valuable lesson of not relying on Gesicki, not falling for the 16-point performance. And he'll be able to, take advantage of presumably Dube's increased opportunity here. KJ Osborne in that Vikings offense, and any game that's going to be an offensive game like against Detroit makes a lot of sense to play him in that game. Although looking at this, I kind of get it. So maybe not, but I definitely don't think I would have started Gesicki. But I'm nitpicking a team that's 2-1. My team's 0-3. And we still aren't quite at my game yet because it was the closest game of the week. But before we get there, we have Moyer versus Squib. And in the cover of this matchup, I did put Greg Dortch, who is a receiver on my team, and I named it Put Some Respect on his name. You got to put some respect on Greg Dortch's team. But the real person I think it's finally time we put some respect on is Jonathan Dean Squib. This dude played the second worst team in the league, save my own team, and he managed to put up only 109 points while setting a lineup that looks on the surface competitive to lose to John Moyer, to give Moyer his first win of the season. I mean, we got to clap it up for Jonathan Dean Squib here as he continues to lose. I mean, this is impressive. It's time to put some respect on his name. He really is. He put that week 1 total. We were making fun of him because he scored so well, but still lost. I'm starting to think he somehow is doing this. He's controlling it well. He knew I can't score too much. 109 points. Let's just throw that out there. Moyer can clear that. And sure enough, Moyer did 127 points, which is actually respectable for Moyer here. But Squib, let's dig a little deeper. Let's see. Did he bench anyone who was clear he should have started? Justin Herbert. Okay. I mean, he was injured, but that's a yellow flag. We'll call that a yellow flag. Even an injured Justin Herbert to start Kenneth Gainwell over him is a major red flag to me. So I don't know, Squib. This is this is questionable behavior here. Noah Brown with Michael Gallup out. Aglehor with sorry, I call him Aglehor because I hate him so much. But who is that? Who's the Patriots receiver that's injured? Jacoby Myers. Yeah, that's pretty much it. But I think it's Josh Palmer, another one. Although I don't think I would have started Josh Palmer because he did decent with when that week, so maybe I would have. But when you use the same logic of not starting Herbert, then it makes a little sense. But Kenneth Gainwell here. What the hell did Squibb see in his performance? Yeah, I'm throwing the red flag here. This needs to, I just praised the man. I don't know about this, Squibbin. I know I'm going to get the text later with the defenses here. He's trying his best. He did start Mark Andrews, who's unquestionably the best tight end in the league right now. He did start him. And that was risky. But, bro, Justin Herbert, I know he was injured. But Kenneth Gainwell instead. What time did the Eagles play? So maybe he thought Herbert wasn't going to play, although we knew Herbert was playing the day of the game. I don't know about this, man. This is fishy. Okay, anyways, let's not take away from what Moyer did because 127 points would have beat multiple teams in the league. Joe Burrow finally puts up a respectable game. He's been doing decent in fantasy because they throw so much, but finally doesn't, I don't know. It was the first time I've watched the Bengals been like, okay, they were playing the Jets, but that actually probably killed Moyer, who is a Jets fan. Josh Jacobs, Wilson Debo, his guy who he traded too much draft capital to get, Pittman, Hawkinson, Jerry Jeudy, who continues to look like a bust. Denver fans hating on him. Pittsburgh fans hating on Chase Claypool. I will give Moyer credit, though. Trevor Lawrence, that was a decent pick. He's looking solid. He reached on Lawrence for sure, and so far that's paying dividends. As each week he's gotten better and better. As the Jaguars absolutely shredded the Chargers. Now I'm just remembering now that Moyer traded me his first round pick for Malik Willis. He doesn't even need Malik Willis. I mean, he's got two young quarterbacks who should be in the league for a while. All right, I don't want to harp on Moyer too much. You got your win, dude. Congratulations. You did play a team who decided to bench Justin Herbert, but you did put up a respectable number of points. So let's get to the closest game in the league, which was my game. And this killed me because I, unlike our other commissioner, am trying to win. By the way, you got to ask yourself, when both commissioners are 0-3, the only two 0-3 teams in the league, did they make a pact to lose a lot so as not to have anyone asking any questions about the validity of the league? I don't know. People are asking it, not me. But I've heard the rumors. I'm just saying, both commissioners 0-3, the only two 0-3 teams. I did only lose by 3 points to team Vladimir Pustin. And all came down to, once again, I started the wrong quarterback. I bought into the 50 throws a game here from Mr. Joe Flacco. What did he do? He threw 50 throws again, 59 throws, 44, 52 throws, and it was the wrong start. All I had to do was start Cooper Rush or Baker Mayfield, and it would have been a dub for me. Killer. Matthew Stafford, of course, needs to be benched for John Wofford. This dude can't play football anymore. He needs Tommy John surgery. McCaffrey sucks still. Jonathan Taylor sucks, but he'll be better. This was just a lot of sucking here. Ezekiel Elliott's best game of the season. He still continues to look very good on the ground, but the fantasy points aren't quite there for him. That's just sometimes fantasy doesn't mirror reality. Aaron Jones, yeah, can expect better performances from him. Lockett as a number one and arguably the worst team in the league. This is about what you can expect from Olave. Breakout game from him. Took advantage of some increased opportunities in the Saints offense. Boom game for him. F1, I continue to doubt the man, and he continues to perform, living up to the part where I drafted him. He's consistent week in and week out. I think the second half of this game, Carson Wentz finally realized that Sorry, I'm seeing a message from Janigan in the chat. He's trying to live trade me. I do not know. What did he send me a trade? Doesn't look like it. I'll look on my other screen just in case. But maybe Janiga, you throw some ideas out there. I did tell Janiga a player I was interested in. Maybe throw it in some my DMs so no one knows who we're interested in here. But Olave, yeah, I already talked about him. F1, Jalen Waddles continues to look like a 1A, maybe, definitely 1B on that Miami offense. AJ Brown, another solid game. Cortland Sutton, a solid game. You know, these are just two solid teams, right? No, my team sucks because I still don't have a tight end or anyone to play in this flex spot every single week. I played the wrong person, although this week I think I actually played the right tight end, which is pathetic because he got 3.5 points. Oh no, this week I should have played Komet. 7 points, which brings his total on the year to 7 points. I hate you, Cole Komet. Greg Dortch, my guy, the guy who's in the thumbnail of this video, continues to perform at this point. If the Cardinals play Rondale Moore, you got to ask him questions. Dortch is clearly better than Rondale Moore. He's had 3 games in a row now that are better than anything we've seen, save 1 week of Rondale Moore's entire season last year, his rookie campaign. Greg Dortch definitely looks like the better receiver there. Another team here starting a second tight end, Tyler Higbee. What is going on in this league? We continue to see this. I think people are overvaluing the tight end premium. I mean, there aren't real, I guess, Jarvis Landry. Yeah, I'm not sure. Oh, look who finally decided to show up. It's Mikey. Mikey, I'm almost done recapping this by myself. But I haven't done your game yet.
Perfect.
Right now, for the second time, we've come across a team that has started 2 tight ends. After last week, we roasted Kime for doing it. Pooston here, the other one being, I think it was the Elder Squib, started 2 tight ends. I don't understand what's going in this league going on right now, but tight end premium is not so that you can start 2 tight ends.
Yeah, I don't know. It looks like it might have worked for him though. You're saying Higbee, yeah, in that flex spot.
Yeah, I guess if these are 2 solid tight ends, like I think the other team started Mike Gesicki and Gerald Everett, who are both worse than Kelsey and Higbee. So I get that.
Yeah,
maybe. So yeah, you're right. That's a little more defensible, but it just looks wrong. I mean, I would have Higbee over Shark this week. So, all right. Do you want to do your matchup, Mikey? It's the only matchup left. And notably, I mentioned I would give my theory as to why Dave's not here, and I'm pretty sure it's because Dave got his doors absolutely blown off by Mikey this week. 130 points, Mikey. I would have beat you this week, by the way. My team is sneaky all of a sudden. No, not really. But Dave puts up only 96 points, the worst performance of the league in the league this week for our boy Dave. Talks all that smack last week about he doesn't know his Lord of the Rings stuff, which makes me a racist. And look at that. 96 points, doesn't show up. You crush him, Mikey. Did that feel good, or were you even aware of this? It was such an easy win for you. You probably just wrote it off and pay attention to your other leagues.
No, I thought it was going to be I think for a part of the week it was a bit closer. And yeah, my defense showed up once again, as we have been for the first 3 weeks of the season. I think I probably still have the lowest points allowed because it's another very low total. So
for reference, I have the 3rd lowest points allowed in the league, 360, which, by the way, to be 0-3 and to have the 3rd lowest points allowed in the league, pretty pathetic. Next lowest, we talked about him earlier, the Elder Squib. He's 2-1, but he's allowed 347 points. And then Mike, you've allowed 358, 347. You've allowed 305 points this year. So yes, great your defense has been showing out.
Yeah. So hopefully we can continue that trend and play some good defense well into the playoffs in January. And
now this is coming from a week where you only got 5.3 points from Tyreek Hill, which we can't count week 18. Would have been his second. Okay, so I guess Hill's more boomer bust than I realized. But you obviously can expect more from him moving forward. But you didn't need it this week. I guess if you're going to get a bust week, It's going to be a week like this. Garrett Wilson, unfortunately, did not get 30 points, which means you will not be.
Yeah, that's one thing I did have my eye on. Not 30. I'm pretty sure he got knocked out of the game for quite a bit, and then he came back. I thought I was going to lose him for maybe the season. He took a pretty big hit.
Oh, man. That would have been killer. Jalen Hurts, I think, he's got to be after Lamar Jackson. Well, who's ahead of him? I keep forgetting.
Josh Allen, maybe.
Oh, yeah, Josh Allen.
And Lamar, probably.
Yeah. Well, Jalen Hurts, you definitely got to feel good about drafting him and pairing him. There you go. Josh Allen, number 2. I mean, that's going to carry you in a super flex league. You've got the QB1, the QB2 and the QB3, but likely will have the QB1, I think. Well, I don't know about likely, but I give Lamar, Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts all similar chances, and you've got 2 of them. So,
yeah, it definitely helps. And then sprinkling the Garrett Wilson 30-point week, and we're hoping to get some more wins.
I thought it'd be fun since Dave's not here to defend himself. If we went through his roster and we played the game, drop or keep. Would you drop or keep Mac Jones? I think the dude's family died. Did you see his reaction when he injured himself?
No, that was pretty bad, yeah.
I think I dropped Mac for being a drama queen. That's what I say.
I probably wouldn't drop him just because these benches are 32 people deep, and just to get a starting quarterback probably worth the hold, even if he is out for a little bit.
I don't think you get the game, Mikey. Okay. DeAndre Swift also injured. Drop or keep? Drop.
That's a keep. DeAndre Swift.
Yeah, definitely don't get the game. Darrell Henderson, drop or keep? Let's go to you first this time, Mikey.
I'd probably drop Darrell Henderson.
There we go. Drop. DJ Moore, drop. That's the easy one, right?
For this week, yeah.
What do you mean for this week? He sucks. Period. Drop.
Sure.
Drop. Yep. Drop DJ Moore. Cooper, you can keep him. Cooks, drop.
Damn, no love for Dave's team.
No, I mean obviously he has to keep these guys. The rosters are so deep, but Dave had a bad week this week, and Kyle Pitts finally showed up, and his team still only put up 96 points. Some concerning trends, all I'm saying. Will Dave put in a massive bid on Brian Hoyer? That's the question. Let's all blow up his spot here. Let's all put in bids on Brian Hoyer.
He's got Dougie Mills. He'll be fine.
Oh, yeah, he's got Davis Mills. Okay. Yeah. All right. That was our last matchup. Let's go look and preview what's going on next week. Week 4 here. First matchup obviously is going to be Mike's foul. We listed. It is the Brown Panther versus Scott Hansen's Coke Habit. I actually think this will be the week I get my first win. I think JB's team is showing almost as many concerning trends as my own. And so I think I like my chances here. Mikey, do you think I have a shot?
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm benching Joe Flacco.
His projection's at 150, but you see he's got guys like Russ and Rashad Penny who haven't been too hot. So,
he does have Jefferson and Amon-Ra.
Yeah. It's nice to have them.
Kittle, but
no, is there a certain reason behind the reason you think you're going to upset him? Just feeling good, or?
I'm keeping a very close watch on my team. I like some of the things I'm seeing. I've got one more good week out of Dortch here, and he'll be a solid wide receiver too. I think F1 is continuing to be consistent. Olave broke out. I think AJ Brown's top 5 receiver in the league. I think Elliott's looking better. I mean, Elliott looks healthy. McCaffrey looks healthy. I just don't see my team to continue. I think the 130 points I put up this week is representative of about where I am, which is middle of the pack. I think Mikey's team is right about them as well. So it's not necessarily that I think I'm going to beat Mikey's team. I just think that this is my best shot I've had in a while. So I'm just calling myself. Sorry, I called him Mikey. JB. Here, Mikey. Next matchup here. Moyer finally got on the board with the win. Playing Tony Rigatoni here, who was he our week high, or was it Brady? It was Brady who was the week high, but Tony Rigatoni right behind him. Finally going to have 2 QBs now. That's important. Team Tony Rigatoni. He's going to have his boy Gino, and he's going to have his boy Zach Wilson. So watch out. He's finally got 2 QBs. He's got 4 RB1s, although they're not all performing like RB1s, but I don't really know who is an RB1 anymore. But we'll give it to him. I think I like Tony's chances here against the person who I bash week in, week out in Moyer. Who do you like?
I like Tony's team. Definitely. I remember his running backs from before. And also now he said he's going to start. Yeah, it looks like he's got Zach Wilson back. Yeah, to have like 6 quarterbacks on your roster and only have 1 playable was tough for a while. But yeah, now
he's overcome that period.
Shape.
He came out of that period with a win and a very high score last week. His team is hot at the right time as he adds that second quarterback to the lineup. All right. Now here we go, Mikey. We previewed it a couple weeks ago. You don't believe in Brady's team. You missed me gushing about Brady's team. I basically accidentally said I don't think Brady's team is going to lose this year. The dude put up 160 points this week. His max lineup could have scored 210, I want to say. And he continues to outscore the entire league every week. He's the only team with 500 points. You're 30 points behind him. Explain to me how you're going to take down Brady.
Just going to try to keep up our good defense, any given Sunday type feel, even though the projection is 20 points off. Yeah, so we're going to need some good defense. And
this projection is absolutely trash.
I know Cook's injured. Unsung guys.
I know Cook's injured, but this is just stupid. We saw him last year play with the same injury with his device. I don't know what week it was, but it's one of the weeks he scored well. It might have even been this week. So I think that's a trash projection. So that right there sticks out to me. But even with that, let's just say, Mikey, I'm gonna make sure Brady is starting a lineup of all healthy players. He almost started Keenan Allen last week. He did start Keenan Allen this week, who didn't play. I'm gonna make sure that if Keenan Allen's out again, he's not gonna be in that lineup because Brady's got a great bench. So watch out.
Got a good squad.
By the way, Mikey, I might be interested in one of your bench players as I'm trying to fix my team. So be expecting a message if I decide to. I'm kind of losing my hope in trades in this league. I think I've said I've got to be pushing like 30. And
damn.
Yeah, none have been accepted. And I mean, some of them absolutely should not have been accepted. So I get that. But some of them were very fair.
Can't win if you don't play.
Some of them were very fair and also made sense for the other team. I'd say at least like 10 of them. So this league's just not trading right now. I think the trades will start picking up once people realize that's the only way to improve your team in this league. But you can see I only have 1 trade out there right now. I'm just like, I've kind of given up. So we'll see if I try making a trade with you. But
I see.
I can't tell everyone who I'm interested in. So here we go. Dave, who ran away hiding, playing a team that's not trying to win. Will Dave manage to get the victory against Ryan Janiga? He did lose Mac Jones, but we said he had Davis Mills. So we'll sub that in, and that will make him projected to win as far as lineups are constructed now. What do you think?
Yeah, he'll be in a little bit better shape once he's got Dougie Mills in there. Maybe get a nice performance out of him. And that'll put him he only needs 7 to kind of balance out that projection. So he's getting 0 from quarterback right now. So yeah.
How many snaps did Dobbins get last week? 43. Played an elite defense in the Patriots. You laugh, but it's true. They held Miami to 13 points. Their offense.
I guess that is true.
They do, but I think the only reason I don't want to get too much into the Patriots, but not having Kyle Duggar to at least make Mark Andrews semi-human, I think that was a big difference in the game. Andrews had 89 yards and 2 touchdowns on 8 catches, 13 targets. So I think that's I think if Duggar plays Patriots defense, people would be talking about how elite they are. So that's all I'll say. Do we pick someone? You said you like Dave's team.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pick Janig's team just because Dave pisses me off. So yeah. Pustin, who quite underperformed his projection, which was at a similar point this week against me, because they continue to overproject Mr. Injured Matthew Stafford. He plays take your pick. Mike, you already tried convincing Keim to change his team name. Who do you think wins this game? This should be a very good game. Two of the teams that are looking to chase you and Brady down right now. Although to be fair to Vladimir Pustin, he does have 3. He is 3-0 like you and Brady are. Who do you like?
Yeah, I think Andrew might be able to pull it off. I think Pustin's much like the Bills, and they looked kind of unstoppable. But everyone slips up every now and then. I think maybe Andrew steals one.
I think I am going to agree with you. Yeah, I think that Andrew, or Keim. You've got me calling him Andrew. I never call him Andrew. Keim.
I don't know.
That was so weird. He's starting to play James Robinson and Kirk. It's becoming clear who his guys are. We've already talked about his depth. So I think that he's starting to learn his optimal lineup here. He did lose David Montgomery, who is currently projected. So we'll have to put James Robinson in there. And then if Montgomery doesn't play, which I'm presuming will happen, I don't know if Myers is going to play. I don't know if Renfrow is going to play. He's got a lot of depth, but Wan'Dale Robinson, another one who might not play. But he's got also a very injured team, so I don't know. Are you expecting Montgomery to play?
No, I don't know. I didn't really see it, but I have Khalil Herbert in another league, so no, I'm not expecting
You're not expecting it. Okay.
Nope.
Sounds like more you're just not hoping it. I want to pick my friend Deere and Keim, but I'm going to actually pick Vladimir Pustin. I think Keim seems a little banged up, and I think the Pustin magic will continue. Okay, final matchup. 50 Shades of Trey, Mr. Trying to Lose. By the way, Mikey, let me ask you this. Would you have started Justin Herbert knowing he was pretty banged up, or Kenneth Gainwell last week?
Herbert.
Well, Squibb conveniently started Gainwell over Herbert against Moyer, who we've talked about is one of the worst teams in the league. I also think it's interesting. I think I'm excited to hear Squibb's excuse. I'm guessing it was Herbert played in a later game and he wasn't sure he was going to play, but I think we knew Herbert was going to play. He was just banged up.
Yeah, hopefully you're right.
Yeah, but that's pretty questionable because Gainwell, it's not like Gainwell has shown any signs of.
Yeah, I'm curious what the analysis was there.
That was pretty questionable. But anyways, Squibb's trying to lose, so obviously we've got to pick the elder Squibb. Sorry, the younger Squibb's trying to lose, so we're picking the elder Squibb this week.
Yeah, I'm going with elder Squibb.
Yep, and the elder Squibb did have the Romeo Dubs breakout this week. And it looks like he pulled the second tight end out of his lineup, so he quickly remedied that. Yeah, I like the elder Squibb here. I think I could see, Herbert probably shouldn't have played last week, which probably means his health was delayed this week. So I could see Squibb not starting Herbert again and rolling once again with Kenneth Gainwell, just to make sure that Herbert's.
Yeah, it's looking like that's what it's going to be. So
yeah, I'm sure Squibb hasn't said lineup yet, but and I think against a team like the elder Squibb, we might see a better lineup here out of JDS Pats, man.
Oh yeah.
But that was the pod so far. I hope that people made it through the monotonous just me by myself. I've never done that before, so it was basically me. Don't go back and watch it, Mikey, but it was basically just me reading every player on the team. It was so incredibly boring. So thank you for saving the podcast this week. I'm going to have to put more effort in making sure other people show up so it doesn't all fall on your shoulders, especially with Dave's team in the dumps. I don't think Dave's going to show up anytime soon. But yeah, it was a quick one this week, only 45 minutes. We stretched it out, but that's all we got for you guys this week. Mikey, anything you want to say before we sign off?
We definitely need to get Dave back on. I'd love to see John make his debut sometime soon.
John,
Yeah, that's about it.
That's
Squib.
what you call Squib, the younger
Yeah.
Squib, or John Moyer?
Oh, we're going younger Squib.
The younger Squib. Okay. Calling out the younger Squib. Maybe we'll have to move it around, the time around a little bit to fit his schedule. I would assume he has something at this time, or he would be on by this point. But yeah, I think it's time that he speaks for himself on the pod, that he defends himself. I don't want any more texts defending his actions. We need the younger Squib here defending himself. Mikey and I are calling him out. Next week, I expect to see Jonathan Dean Squib, JDS, Pat's fan, on the pod, explaining why for the second week running he benched his number 1 draft pick in Justin Herbert. But I think that's all we got for you guys. So once again, thanks for listening, and thanks for making it this far, because Mikey, it really was as boring as I said I could feel it. I was boring myself, and I was the one talking. It was bad. We almost had a live trade, or there was hope for one. Janiga put it in the chat. He said, "What up? Live trade." I don't know if you had joined by that point.
I think I was joining like right then.
That never developed into anything. But yeah, if you maybe you guys will see a trade from us later in the night. And if that happens, Mikey, I'll probably end up reaching out to you, because I will be rejuvenated when it comes to trading.
Just let me know.
All right. I always suck at the sign off. So see ya. Oh wait, no, because now we gotta wait for it to load.